Welcome to Driveway Garage. Today I'm going to replace these headlights. They're pretty yellow. They might be original, I don't know. Anyway, I watched a couple videos on how to do it. It's not that bad of a job, but you do have to almost take the bumper off completely. At least the top half, so it'll fall out of your way. I don't know why, but I've been sneezing like crazy. I had to pause the camera. Anyway, I'll get you in here close real quick. You've got to take out these connectors. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. And I bought, finally, some special pliers for taking those out. They just go on the sides. And you can go right underneath the connector. Well, maybe not that one. It's buried down in there. Let's try this one. That's the way they're supposed to work. Sometimes I just use small screwdrivers. The two on the outside are Phillips screws, so you can unscrew those. And then that cover comes off. I think there's a bolt or two there. Maybe two in the front if I remember right. Anyway, I'll get to it. And then there's something on the side here too, a screw or a bolt. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's get these top ones off. I guess you can watch me struggle. Yep, pliers won't go in there. They won't go there. That one's out. That one's out. Well, so much for that idea. I'm going to grab a couple small screwdrivers. Let's try this again. Give you a better look at them. They got a notch on both sides so you can get something under there to pop them up, and they will pop apart all the way if you're not careful, but they just go back together easy. Out. Let's try the Phillips. That Phillips screw just wants to spin around. So you got to get something under it to put some pressure on it. Well, that's not going to come out of there. Well, I just broke the head off that one. I'll replace it. I've got a box of these fasteners. Now that, oh yeah, it's got some friction clips on the front of it, if I remember right. Now this lip here kind of goes underneath the grill. Of course this one goes under the latch, then it pulls up. Yeah, so that's out of the way. Let's get you in there where you can see the bolts I'm talking about. Okay, so how is this gonna work? You know, I watch a video and then I have to go back and watch it again just before I do it. Oh, that's right. Now we got to pull the bumper off so we can get access to the screws. There should be a screw or a bolt down here. Well, shoot. What is down there? Let me get my flashlight, see if you guys can see it. Should be a screw or something right there. If I remember right, it's Phillips, so you have to get a stubby screw or else turn your wheels side to side to get them out. So I got the screw out. It's kind of small, 1/2 inch long, and you have to put the screwdriver straight up into this little hole over there. The guy in the video used a little short stubby screwdriver, and he was kind of perpendicular to the fender at that curve, but it's really more straight up and down. So I got one out, I'll get on the other side, get the other one out, and then this bumper should just pull away from the car and I think drop down. Well, for whatever reason, the stubby screwdriver worked better on the other side. Now let me see if I can remember how to pull this down, if I have to take some more clips out. I'm going to grab a plastic pry tool. I don't want to break my bumper or crack it. I remember there's a clip on both sides right there. You can pry up on that with a screwdriver a little bit to release that pressure, so this will come out of there. That one actually, oh, I thought she was going to come out. I don't think, you don't have to take the bumper completely off, you just have to loosen it. Let's see if this side's gonna move. Yeah, it came out of there. I think there's some clips in the front here too, just friction. Gotta pop those out of there, so. Let me grab that plastic tool. If I have to, I'll get a different one I've been using on another car. There she goes. Just be careful you don't pull on that edge out there too hard, because you'll crack your bumper right there. Alright, so that's basically it. Bumper removed enough to get the headlights out. Let me get out my 90-degree chemo. I can get these bolts that are a little tighter in there. Some tools can really make your job a lot easier. I've used this chemo a lot. It was fairly reasonable compared to like a Milwaukee, and it'll get you in some places that you can't get into otherwise. I think these are 10 millimeter. Let's find out. So, headlight. Well, they're not, whatever size that socket is, I thought that was 10 millimeters. What do we have here? Probably something in the wrong spot. It's a 13, it's supposed to be a 10. So there's one on the top you saw me take out, and then there's two that go in right here. I've got to get a small extension. Here's what those look like. They're not very big, about 1/4 of an inch by 1/2 inch. As you can see, that grill will pop out of the bumper pretty easy. So when you're taking the bumper off, don't grab the grill and yank on it, because it'll just pop off. Now I think those headlights will pop out of there. Oh, there might be another one on the side. Yeah, I found it. I'll show it to you. So here's the bumper, and there's the bolt right there. There's a couple screws back here. You don't want to mess with those. Those hold this plastic on, I'm sure. So take out that bolt, one on each side, and then there's some metal brackets you have to transfer to the new headlights. You know, I watched this video yesterday morning, and usually I forget half the video by the time I go to do the job, but it's kind of coming back to me. So let me get that bolt out of there. Seems like the bolts are all the same, so you don't have to remember where they came out of. Amazing. I haven't had to get my extending magnet out yet for dropping a bolt. Now let's see how easy that headlight pulls out. Well, I'm just going to take that grill off for now. Wants to fall off anyway. Well, let me struggle with that. I guess you can't even see me over there struggling, but I can't get either one of them to pop loose right now. So let me figure out what's going wrong and then I'll be back. Well, I guess if you get all the bolts out, they come out easier. So there was another bolt right there holding the headlight in. Another 10 millimeter. As soon as I popped that out of there, then the headlight got pretty loose, so I think it'll come out now. So let me get that other bolt out and then we'll pull the headlight. Come on, baby. Ouch. Wow, nothing hard about that. I don't know why they can't make the headlights slide in without taking the bumper off. But that's the way they do it. Now I guess at this point there's a couple things you can do. You can unclip the wiring harness or you can twist the bulb out of there. The guy I watched, and it's probably a good idea, is I'll get you in there a little bit closer. He unhooked the wiring harness and then he twisted the bulbs out and put them right into the new headlights. And these brackets, the ones he got on the new headlight, were too tight. He couldn't screw the socket in there. So he took a Phillips screwdriver and loosened these a little bit so that would go in there and pop back into place. Now to get them out, you twist them counterclockwise. This one, I think it's the marker. It should just have a release tab on it right there. Yeah, there's a little white tab right there. I'm sorry. Let me get you back out a little bit. Push down on that. Well, it's not going to happen with one hand. Get you back in the camera. I mean the tripod. See if I can get that out of there. There. Same with these. They got a tab. Just push on it. Pull it off. Push on it. Push on it. Man. Guess I'll push on with the screwdriver. Boy, that baby doesn't want to come off. How about we lift up on it until we break it off. Come on for there. Wow. There she comes. Wow, that was on there. All right, one headlight removed. Now you got to take this bracket off on this side, and there's another bracket on the other one that has to come off. Looks like it's about the same size as screw. Well, let's see how hard this baby's going to be to get out. I'll put you over here on the side, back you out so you can see. Now there are a couple of alignment tabs back here. When you put the headlight in, you got to make sure they go into that slot. Need a way to get the bumper underneath that. There, maybe that'll help. So I took that out. Are you kidding me? There's another one right there. Well, I guess. Learn from my mistakes. Loose there, loose there. I'm almost tempted to take the whole bumper off. There she goes. Jiminy crickets. What a pain in the butt that is. That one's not even tight. Wow. Jeepers creepers. Well, the wiring harness has a fastener that goes into that headlight bracket on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to pop that out of there. This headlight, not even tight. Probably need to loosen the screws to get that bulb in there. On the new one, anyway. Let me get that fastener out of there and see what we have. In order to take this harness off, you need to pinch the sides of that clip right there. Don't just try prying it out or you'll break it. But I think if you get in there with some needle nose pliers, you can squeeze it and then force it out of there. Let me get that done. If you look at this bracket, it's pretty loose because it's missing a connector. There's supposed to be a fastener that goes right in the end there to hold it steady. That's probably part of the problem. Well, let me go inside, get my new headlights. In my opinion, anything that is this hard to take apart, it's probably going to be harder to get together. These are the tabs I was telling you about. The headlight has to line into those. So when you're sliding it into place, look from the end and make sure you're going into those. That's for alignment purposes, of course. And then let me get my new headlights out here, and I'll get these brackets transferred over. I'll swap the bulbs over. I'll film it and see if we have to loosen up those screws to get the light sockets to go into the new headlights. They're in the house. I haven't brought them out yet. I'll go grab them. Well, there's the headlights I ordered. Nightlight headlight assembly. I've had pretty good luck. I think this is the same brand that I bought for that Toyota Prius back there. Let's zoom in. They look pretty good. That one's wrecked and I fixed it. New bumper, hood, fender. Anyway, here we are. Let's see what we have here. Might as well get it out further. A little styrofoam. Of course, they got their plastic wrap to protect the headlight. These are kind of black inside instead of silver. You got to take these paper or plastic tabs off the back. Can you see that? I'm using my phone, so I can't see what you can see. Is that the right one? Nope. That must be for the other side. Yeah, that one goes on the other side. Let's move you over there. I'm gonna go grab an old towel or something I can lay this on so I don't scratch it. First thing I have to do is take that bolt out that's holding that bracket, fasten it to the new headlight. It's 10 millimeters. Just like the rest of them. While I'm down here, I'm going to go ahead and see if these new sockets will plug into there. Don't touch the glass with your fingers. Well, that one locked in all right. guess it's locked in there. And the last but not least, the marker bulb. Well, I think that's everything off of there. Now this should go there. That should have a fastener in it, but it doesn't. Yeah, this is part of the problem with aftermarket stuff. If it's not exact, you're gonna struggle. Is that supposed to go there? Well, hopefully it'll bend enough to go. Let me get out my assortment of fasteners and see if I can find one the right size to hold that where it belongs. I've got two of these containers. I was running low on some sizes in this one, so I bought another one. I don't really care for the container. It's one through, you have to undo each level to get to the next level. It's kind of a pain. Let's see here. It's kind of fat. Not very fat. I don't know if the Christmas tree one will work or not. Wow, that's a long ways away. It's gonna have to bend somehow. I don't know if it's the position of this part. It's at the wrong angle. This has got a little button sticking out here to hold that, but it doesn't look like that's gonna line up. Let me pause this for a minute. I'm going to look at these two headlights close together and see where the alignment problem is. Well, I tried to line it up on the old headlight, and I think that's why it doesn't have a fastener in that corner. Because if you get the two on the left as it's laying there, you can't get the one on the right. So I'm going to put the bolt in that side, not line up the other tab, and then put a tied zip tie on this corner to hold it in place. And then I'm going to hope that the headlight sits in the right position. Otherwise I'll have to do it the way that they did it and just leave this in loose. Time will tell. Doo-doo-doo. Now you can see, if I can get you where you can see, there's a gap here on this bracket. There's just no way. So maybe these are aftermarket headlights I took off too. But there's no way that's gonna work, lining that up. So I'm gonna try to put it in this way and see what happens. Well, I didn't film it, but I just took my time and I wiggled that in there, and I got those two slots on the alignment lined up, snapped into place. Now the question is going to be, of course, will the bumper go in? But the headlight right there looks pretty good. So let's go to the other side and see what we have to do to switch stuff over. That's just got a short bracket on it, so it should be fine. Well, I was wrong. It's got the same bracket on it. I don't know why I thought it was just a little short stubby bracket. And I'm looking at the alignment. There's no way that other side, if this was done right, is going to work. So I'm guessing, you know, this car is 21 years old. It's probably had headlights replaced with aftermarket. Or it just never did work in the first place. I have no idea. Let's transfer our light bulbs. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Where's my screwdrivers at? Do you guys see them anywhere? There's two screws here. I'm going to loosen them a little bit. Probably you can see it better there, huh? Loosen that. Loosen that. Boy. They just don't want to snap into place. Let's see, is there 3 screws? Yep, there's a 3rd screw hiding. There we go. Now I'll tighten these two back up a little bit. Maybe it's just that screw there that's the problem. Loosen. Loosen. And loosen. Like I said, don't touch the bulbs. Oh yeah, that's perfect. We'll tighten those up just a little bit. We don't want the headlight falling out of there. Now we got a marker light. Now I just noticed in the bottom of the box, there's a couple cute white gloves you can put on so you don't get the headlights dirty. Well, it goes on there. All right, let's get this out of the way. And once again, I know there's no way I can put, this is where it would sit if it was lined up back here, and the bolt doesn't line up. So you got to put the bolt in. That seam cross-threaded. Kind of hold that over where it belongs. Put your bolt in. don't over tighten it. You don't want to break it. And then get your zip tie. Cinch that baby down. There's actually a prong sticking up here. It's supposed to line up, but it doesn't line up either, so cut your excess off so it's not in the way. I'll try to get this set up so you can watch me fight the headlight into place. Hopefully it goes kind of easy. I was surprised that headlight went in as easy as it did, as hard as it came out. But let me get the wiring connectors, all the bulbs hooked up. If I can remember which way to hold this way. All right. First one in. He's supposed to go up or down. I guess that's right. There she goes. All right. So you kind of have to wiggle it behind this one. You got to pull your bumper down, get that in behind there. This part has to go under the fender. Come on, baby. There she goes. Well, get in there. There she goes. I'm going to have to work on that alignment just a little bit. I think the bolts will pull it into place, but she's in there. Yeah, I think when I get those two bottom bolts in, that's going to help hold it in alignment. I'm going to move you guys so you can see and my head won't be in your way. I've got to put a bolt in from the side, two in the front, and two in the top. So you won't be able to see it exactly, but you should get the idea. I can't work on a car without screwing up my hand, either poking a hole in it or bruising it. Okay, there's one bolt in. Well, I figured out on the end of those brackets why there's nothing there. It's because the bolt goes in there that holds it together. And now my zip tie is in the way. So I'm going to cut my zip tie out of the way so I can push it in. Hopefully these bolts are only a 1/2 inch long. Maybe 3/4, but they're not very long. So let me see if I can get it in there. Well, I got the zip tie out of the way. It was right here. But between this bracket and the headlight and the fender where the bolt goes, they don't line up. Even if you move this bracket out of the way, that doesn't line up. It's got to go back, I don't know, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. Maybe somehow I can force it. I got to force it and line up 3 things at the same time. This bolt might not go back in. I might have to zip tie the whole thing together. I don't know. I'm going to try to tighten up the bolts I can get in there and then see if that helps with the alignment, pulls it together, but I don't know. Let's try this one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to get down there and see if I can somehow line that up, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll have to watch this. I can't remember when I'm recording and when I'm not, but it took a little finagling, but I got that bolt to go in. Once I hit the headlight, the palm of my hand, I heard it click and it snapped kind of into place. The other one just didn't want to do that. I don't know if something's just out of alignment over there that needs a lot better alignment. I can look at it a little bit more, but this headlight fits super good. Let me show you. I like this fitment in the fender pretty good. It's pretty tight. A little sloppy right along there, but it's not bad. Now this one, see that big gap right there? So maybe somehow I've got to hit this thing down on the bottom and get it to snap into place more. I don't know. I'm going to try to get it lined up better and see if maybe I can get that bolt in there. It sure would be nice to have all the bolts in, plus the fitment. Boy, that just doesn't want to move. Could be that bracket, I just don't know. Let me mess around with that just a little bit, and then I'll get this hood or bumper snap back into place. You see these little slots here, they got to go into here. So you got those, you got these over here. Of course your clips in the front. So let me mess with that headlight just a little bit, and if it doesn't want to line up, I'm just going to put it back together. Well, I was just looking at this grill. It's got these slots. There's 4 of them, and they're supposed to attach here. I think these things maybe, that one seemed all right. That one seemed kind of short, like it's not going to work. That one's broken. So I'm going to look in my assortment, see if I can find something that's just a little bit longer that will work, and then I'll just reattach those at the bottom. See, yeah, that one's broke. That one's probably going to pop right out of there. So these are just the wrong ones, or they're just worn out. I'll get some that fit a little closer, put that grill back on there, and then it'll be a little more substantial. And then on the top part, it's got what, 3 of them there that hold it in place too. And I'm assuming they're what hold that plastic piece to that. So let me get this thing fixed. Well, she's just about back together. This side, because it had hit something, is a problem with the alignment. I had a heck of a time getting these snap back into place. They still don't want to go. I finally got it where I could get the screw in. That helped hold it, but I think that's part of the problem with alignment with the headlight. With the headlight is this got damaged. Now when you put this last piece of trim in here, put it underneath this corner here, and then make sure it goes underneath here in this slot, and then kind of buckle it in the middle and get it under here, and then you can put all your fasteners back in. Well, I think that about wraps it up, guys. It's a longer video than I planned on it, but whenever you're working with a car that's been damaged like that, you're going to have problems. But the headlights look a lot better. I also put new hubcaps on it. If you ever have to take your hubcaps off and record, they're held on with the lug nuts, so something to keep in mind. They don't just snap off, at least not these. It's going to look a lot better. I get the radio fixed and an O2 sensor, it'll be ready to sell. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody out.